Hello, it's a little bit later in the day. I took a break. But today our book is The First Day in Grapes. And this little boy, his dad is a worker who kind of travels where the work is. So he works in um, the fields or like picking different fruits and vegetables. And so at different times of the year, different places have those fruits or those vegetables that need to be picked. So this boy, his family moves a lot because of that. Because when the work ends, they have to go somewhere else. So, first day in grapes. Chico never could decide if California reminded him of a fruit basket or a pizza. His family traveled from one migrant camp to another, picking fruits and vegetables. From oranges to apples, they went, from onions to tomatoes to peppers. They had arrived at Camp in Grapes last night. Get up, Chico, pronto, Mama yelled or called as her hands patted the tortillas she was making for the family's meals. You can't be late for your first day. Andale, let's go. He had so many first days in artichokes, first days in onions, first days in garlic. Now his first day in third grade would be in grapes. So he's saying those things as what his dad was picking. So this first day in grapes, this first day of school, where they're at picking grapes. I don't want to go to school, Chico complained to Mama when he went into the kitchen to wash. Kids pick on me. They call me names. Mama tiptoed on a stool like a circus acrobat. She was hanging yellow curtains that had belonged to Abuela, his grandmother. Mama moved the curtains from camp to camp, trying to make each new place feel like home. Listen, Mama said, we all have jobs, and yours is school. Mama jumped down from the stool and put one hand on Chico's shoulder, the other on his back. She straightened him up until he looked like Papa before he went to the work in fields each day. Chico wondered why Mama kept doing that. Sure as grapes turned purple, she stood him tall when he went to school. Mama didn't know about how scary school could be. She didn't understand that some kids didn't like him. Maybe it was because he moved before kids got to know him, or because he spoke Spanish sometimes. Besides, Chico figured he didn't need to go to school that much. He wanted to be a race car driver, driving fast, winning a big trophy, vroom. They didn't teach you how to race cars in school. At the bus stop, Chico varoomed over to a few kids he had seen in other camps. Hola, he said, steering around them. Hello. Hola, they shouted back. When the bus came, the driver looked mean as a crew boss. Hurry up, the driver boomed before Chico or the others could find places to sit. Move it. The bus lurched forward. Chico grabbed the back of a seat and held on. You better watch out or old Hooch will get you, the boy said, sitting there. At school, the office secretary told Chico to go to room 8. There, George Washington's picture hung above the checkboard. Chico silently greeted his old friends from other schools. Buenos dias, amigas. His teacher's name was Miss Andrews. Welcome, Chico, she said. You can sit there by John Evans. John looked friendlier than most kids he'd met in other schools. You're lucky you're in this class, John said. Miss Andrews is the best teacher. She can crack a home run over the playground fence. And every time she rounds home, she gives a loud cheer. Chico's eyes looked as big as lemons. You're fooling me, Chico said. He wondered how a little senorita like Miss Andrews could hit a ball so far. She cheered for herself. During the Pledge of Allegiance, Chico felt goosebumps on his arms. The pledge made him proud to be an American, even though sometimes people treated him like a foreigner. Mrs. Andrews asked the 2 new students to tell the class about themselves. Sylvie, a girl from camp, stood up and took a bow. My name is Sylvie Castro, she said. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, but I'd rather have a kitten. Everyone laughed, even Miss Andrews. Now Chico saw the whole class looking his way, George Washington too. Chico had to say something. I'm Chico Padilla. My papa picks more crates than his friends, Juan Grande and Juan Chiquito together. He's real quick. Then Chico was quick too. He sat down fast. The class was quiet, but Miss Andrews smiled at him. Miss Andrews likes me, Chico thought. He would try to work hard for her. He wondered if he should have told him about himself, about how he could dance the bull dance while his uncles played salsas on guitars, or how he wanted to be a race car driver. Next, Miss Andrews put out some pictures. Choose a picture you like, she told the class, and write a story about it. Chico picked a white house with bushes and flowers. Her, he bet the house had room for cooking, another room for bathing, and bedrooms for everyone. It probably even had hot water and a TV. Chico didn't like writing. It was hard for him to find the right words, but he did his best for Miss Andrews. My house, she is okay, Chico struggled to write. The paint is coming off, a little hole in the floor. Someday I'll have a nice house like this. During math, Miss Andrews called on Chico. 14 plus 45 is, Miss Andrews asked. Chico picked up chalk and wrote 59. It was easy as adding crates of fruits and vegetables Papa picked. Miss Andrews winked. Let's try 58 plus 36. In a flash, Chico wrote 94. Andrews' eyebrows shot up. Can you do 59 plus 94? Chico thought for a second, then wrote 153. Oh, yes, said Miss Andrews, giving a thumbs up. Chico hadn't felt this good since he broke in the pinata at the harvest picnic. I bet you like the math fair, John told Chico when he got back to his desk. It's next month. Chico knew about math fairs. They had one at the school in the radishes and the school in the dates, but his family always moved before he could compete. Quickly, Chico added up the weeks they'd be in grapes. If they stayed through raisins, maybe he would get to go to the math fair. This first day isn't so bad, Chico thought, sitting at the lunch table. He peeled a grape and popped it into his mouth. It felt smooth and cool. Nothing scary happened. And there would be math fair. Just then, Mike and Tony, the troublemakers from the bus, came over to Chico's table. Oh, yum, yum. Let's see what the new kid eats, Mike said, grabbing Chico's lunch sack. Looky here, said Tony, holding up a tortilla. This looks like cardboard. Best, it tastes like it, too. Chico's heart thumped. Why would anyone say something like that about a tortilla could hurt him? Why anyone who would say something like that about a tortilla could hurt him so bad? I think his feelings are hurt. Betcha his mama makes some, Mike teased. Don't talk about my mama, Chico warned in a low voice. What'd you say, Mike said? That's when Chico felt Mama's hand. Finally, he got it. Mama meant for him to have courage. Be strong. Remember, she stood him up straight. And he's realizing it's because she's telling him, have courage, be strong. Although his knees felt weak, Chico stood up tall. It got quiet enough to hear cucumbers grow. Tony leaned so close Chico could feel his breath. Then Tony pointed his fingers and smirked. Well, look who's trying to be macho. Chico didn't feel macho, and he didn't feel brave either. He wished he was back at the chalkboard working math problems. Suddenly, Chico said, Do you know what 59 plus 94 is? What? Mike and Tony said together. They looked surprised. 153, Chico replied. Hey, kid, Mike said. You learned to add up counting the holes in your roof? Tony and Mike high-fived and bent over laughing. Need an easier one? 25 and 72, Chico heard himself say. 97, he answered before they got a chance. A crowd of kids began to surround him. What is 65 crates of dried grapes and add 77 crates to it? How many crates of raisins do you get? Chico continued. The crowd was growing, waiting. Leave him alone, a girl called out. He didn't do anything to you, someone else added. Tony looked around. This is dumb, he said. Who cares about adding up crates? Yeah, who cares, repeated Mike. No one moved. No one said a word. Finally, Mike and Tony turned, trying to look tough. The crowd parted, letting them walk through. John rushed over to Chico. Those kids scare everyone, said John, but you didn't even look scared. They scared me some, Chico admitted, but he thought, bravo, he stood up for himself, and it felt good. You think you'll be here for the math fair, John asked. We could be partners. Chico smiled. Maybe, I'd like that. So he stood up to those boys, and he didn't really do anything mean back to them. Then, that afternoon, getting off the bus, Chico walked past old Hunch. Buenos tardes y gracias, Chico said. Old Hunch glared at him. What'd you say? I said good afternoon and thank you. You know, for the ride. He took a deep breath. And my name is Chico Padilla. I live here now, in Grapes. Old Hunch rested his elbow on the steering wheel and looked down at Chico's lane. Well, good afternoon to you, Chico Padilla, he mumbled. See you tomorrow. So obviously that bus driver was just having a bad day. And someone just saying nice changed it. Saying something nice. Chico jumped on the bus. This had been a pretty first day. good first day. He had a new friend and a good teacher, and old Hooch knew his name. Chico watched until the bus disappeared in a cloud of dust. Then he ran down the lane towards home, where yellow curtains blew in the window. The end.